Welcome back to Build Review, episode 10. It's a bit of a different one because I'm going to be reviewing your builds, not at my desk. Beer, 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 beer. You know what, just pretend this is the theme song for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I got it copyrighted, that's why this is re-uploaded. Today we are on the west side of Vancouver. The leaves are pretty well coming out now. Lots of bike parking here, which is great. All right, well, that's not good. I'm gonna try to bike home without a seat. We'll see how that goes. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, so I checked out one bike shop. No luck, we're going to another one. Nope, no luck today. Alright, so I'm taking this thing for a test ride. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get this one. So now, I just have to wait about 24 hours, then I come and pick up my bike. How's that for a view? I made a friend. Thank you. Okay, it's 2 days later. It's time to go pick up my bike. Oh, yeah, buddy. Beer, 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 beer. Boop, 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 boop. Let's try this again. This used to be a railway. Pretend there's music. We have officially made it further than last time. We are almost there. Boop, 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 boop. Pacific Spirit Regional Park. Shared trail, so gotta be careful. Beer, 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 beer. What's up, buddy? What's going on? I love when my music gets copyrighted, so here's some other music I made a while ago. This is the reason why I will not be going any further with my camera. So, I gotta go back down there. Yeah, there's worse places to review some builds. Not too bad. Okay, so first of all, we have this city inspired by Barcelona, Paris, Lisbon, Genoa, and Stuttgart. I think this is very cool. One thing right off the bat is this is quite a sharp angle. Usually when you design a curve, it is a radius with a center point. So the video that I would recommend that you check out is this one, Proof You'll Use High School Math, Minecraft Curved Roads. That should help you out with the math behind it. Okay, the more I sit here, the more I feel like an idiot. I don't think sand and cameras are really a great combination. And also you can't really see the screen. Let's just go back inside. Beer, 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 beer. I need to work on my singing, but whatever, you get the picture. The music got copyrighted. All this work just to end up right back at my desk. Okay, let's try this again. First of all, we have this city inspired by Barcelona, Paris, Lisbon, Genoa, and Stuttgart. I have also marked everything up here, by the way, so it's going to be hopefully a little bit easier. But, okay, there's my hand. Ooh, I don't know what's happening there. Okay. I really like these trains. I think this is a great design. I really appreciate that these are a little bit diagonal here too, because just having a flat facade, of course, can get a little bit boring. I am quite guilty of this. I really love the detailing on these walls. It is quite nice. One thing that I am curious about is what else are you going to put down here? I do like this pattern, and I'm not sure what this is, a little statue or something, but yeah, I'm curious to see what you do with it. I really appreciate these trees. They are quite nice. I do love this cornice up here. and this one up here. And I do see that you have your parapet so that the water does not fall off. Very good job on that. Now, I do have a couple criticisms. These streetlights are quite close. Ideally, you could have them probably about 20 blocks apart or so. I typically keep mine about 30, 31, alternating on either side. But if you have them right in the middle, well, I don't know, maybe it's okay, but yeah, usually closer to about 20. Another criticism I have is you only have one stop line here and not one on the other side, so I don't know what's going on here. In the next picture, I love that you have this staircase going down. That is quite nice. But over here, something you could add if you would like to is maybe some texturing along this bottom section here. Because when you have water, it's going to rain and then it's going to go up against this wall. And then I'm not quite sure if bricks are the greatest idea to interact with water. In the same city, this must be out in the forest, you have this Firewatch Tower. I'm a huge fan of Firewatch Towers. I built one recently myself. And by recently, I mean like a year ago. One comment I do have is these vertical members are a lot smaller than your tension members going crossways with the X pattern here. I'm curious if you can make these maybe a little bit larger, either that or somehow reduce the size of these tension members. This is very cool, but this is not my personal preference, but I do respect it. There are a lot of builds in this video that do use this for your dotted lines, or even just lines in general. Personally, I think it's a little bit distracting, but that's just my opinion. Next up is this house. Very realistic. I really love this texture pack. I'm not sure which one it is. If you could help clarify that in the comments, that would be great. The extra material here. So you see how this kind of sticks out here? I would encourage you to think about bringing this straight back here and then connecting it straight down rather than bringing it up here and here. The reason being this is extra material and extra framing, and the people actually building it probably aren't going to like it as much. But if you really, really want to, you can keep it. Although on the other side, behind where this triangle is, I would imagine that it's actually mirrored, which is good because the rain will come down where this blue is. And if it was flat, like this red design on the other side, then it's going to be quite difficult to get the water out. But if it is just a mirrored copy of what is currently built, that is a lot easier to direct the rain. Next up, we have this house. I really love all of the cool details on this. It's very cool. It's you got a drive-through. What do you call it? Not a drive-through. A driveway through the house. Very great detailing. I am curious why there's no glass up here, but otherwise this looks great. This one, no notes. This looks really, really good. I'm curious where in the world you would see this sort of design. Maybe, I don't know, New Mexico. It kind of reminds me of some of those houses that I've seen in Better Call Saul. The next house here, very nice. I love the detailing on all of this. I do notice that this section is missing a stair or a full block. So that's probably not good for your rain. But down here, one other comment, maybe consider bringing the sidewalk up to be flush with this grass here. So when you're walking here, it drops down. And then if you want it to go up to get to your car on the street, you have to walk up and over. So maybe just consider that. And this is the same house on the other side down here. Maybe I would recommend having something other than siding along the bottom just for your waterproofing. Next, we have a bridge in Paris. This is by Brody. This is a very nice bridge, although there's a little village back here. Not sure what that's doing there. And the other complaint I have is I'm going to fall off the side there and probably over here too. But otherwise, this bridge looks very, very good. Next, we have the Cologne Cathedral. I'm assuming this is a bit of a work in progress down here. I believe this is wool. Is this cube pack? Yes, it is. Very nice. Yeah, this is some really phenomenal work. I don't know how long this took you, but look at the insane amount of detailing on this. This is what you can do with Cube Pack, by the way. Pretty incredible. Next, we have the city of Folsom. I love this texturing here. This is actually a dirt building, which is quite interesting. But you do change the material. I think this might be podzol. I'm not sure, but it does change to wood up here. If you do look very close, you're like, that's weird. It's made of dirt. And you do this sort of the same thing up here as well. It looks very cool. Now, one consideration I have for this section, you do have your street light. I love the design of this. However, the end rod, if you are looking just to have light, maybe consider using a slab here and then using a light block either right here or down at the bottom. If you want more information on how I do it, check out Build Review Episode 9 and go to the end of that video. This is the Woolworth Tower, and why is there twin towers in every build review? I don't know how that happens. Either way, this building looks very, very nice, and the texturing looks phenomenal. Now, this is a beautiful view. This is Park Avenue, but I am curious about your street and sidewalk decor. You do have a little bit, and I guess when I did walk through here, there wasn't a whole lot, but yeah, maybe you could consider adding a couple things along here. But overall, this looks really good. Ooh, you have a helicopter up there too. Very nice. Now also on Park Avenue, I believe, maybe down on the bottom here, consider changing this to a stone for waterproofing. And a question I had is, how did you actually make this ceiling inside of this building? Because that looks really, really good. I'm also curious how you made these vertical elements. I'm assuming these are walls of some sort, but I'm not sure which sides are sticking out. I don't know what's going on here. That looks like an interesting concept, but interesting. I'm keen to see more pictures of this and how the structural systems work too. Also, oh, these poor windows. I really love the look of these setbacks. You create an urban wall down here, and then once you get approximately above where my mouse is, it starts to go up and back. That is for your sunlight. Now down here, I'm assuming this is not quite done. Definitely need more light here, but I really love all of these designs. This logo looks really, really good. This sign here, this one's actually sticking out towards the camera, and this is great for people on the sidewalk walking here, because if you're walking along here, you're not really going to see these signs up top, but if one's sticking out like this, then you're definitely going to see it. Next, we have a hospital. Yes, it indeed feels like a hospital, which is really good because it is a hospital. I would recommend checking out some decor ideas and maybe some utilities down here, whether that be street signs or maybe some lights, but it's up to you. Maybe even some benches down here as well. Yep. Looks really good. This is a great variety of shapes up top here, and I'm really glad you didn't go too crazy with the designs in terms of the color and materials. You kept it pretty simple, kept it to white and light gray, and then the blue glass. I think it works quite well. And then here's another angle. Looks really good. Next, we have the Titanic. I really love this detail down here with the water splashing up. Oh no, is this ice? Oh, that's not good. Oh no, it's water. Okay, we're good. But yeah, the shape of this looks really, really good. I am not a very good boat builder, but my only comment is potentially consider using either iron bars or pane for these lines instead of wool. And over here, I'm not sure what this is, but potentially consider maybe using something with walls and then iron or glass panes out here. But overall, this looks really, really good. But yeah, just little things. Next, we have the Taipei 101 and some other buildings. I believe this is by the King of Rome, but I could be mistaken. This is phenomenal. Really, look at this. This is actually incredible. I'm curious if this has a tuned mass damper up top like the Taipei 101 does in real life. A tuned mass damper is basically a giant hanging ball up at the top of a skyscraper so that when there's an earthquake, it helps keep the skyscraper upright. And here's another building. Unreal. Very good work. Next, we have Pearl City. Beauty, all of it. Look at the amount of detail on all of these buildings. I see you have some really good texturing going on there. Lots of variety. Very, very nice. All of these buildings are really, really good. Now, one thing, if you would like to consider this, is potentially updating the foliage on your trees, whether that's including ferns or grass with world edit. I really love all of the details on here. This looks very, very good. I am curious why these are sticking out though. Lots of great details down here, and it's very important when you're building a Minecraft city to include the small buildings as well as the large ones, because if you only have large ones, then walking around on the street doesn't feel too exciting. Next up, we have a city, and there seems to be a lot of mods or data pack. That's not a data pack. I don't know what's going on here, but I know this is definitely not vanilla. I do have some comments here, as you can see. So let's start with the good. I really love that there is a walking bridge over top of this 4-lane road. That is quite nice, although your stairs are very, very, very steep. Although I guess in Minecraft too, it is probably about the same, but yeah, just a little comment. This is a little bit cursed. I've never seen anything quite this curved in Minecraft, but yeah, it's interesting. I don't know why this car door is open. You should, I guess you do probably have a red light, but get back in your car, buddy. Now, I am curious why there are no stop lines here on this section, or this section up here. You definitely need to include those. Now, a similar comment to one of the previous ones, your streetlights are very close. I would ideally recommend bringing them at least 20 blocks apart. Also, I promise this doesn't say lol, it says cool. Down here, I would recommend maybe adding some more trees. I'm not sure what's going on with this. Are these, oh, they're bike paths. Oh, that's cool. Not quite sure what's going on with these. I can't really tell the dimensions. Your field of view is quite high. When you are taking your screenshots, maybe lower your field of view down to maybe about 70. It just makes it a little bit easier to see. Next up, we have this Minecraft build. I'd say that's pretty good. I don't know how you get all this texturing, but yeah, you know, it's pretty good. I don't know, is that andesite or something? I'm not sure. But nice, you put a hat on the build. That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, good build. Next, we have the city of Sprucewood, and they have an entire Wikipedia about this. There's lots of cool stuff going on here. This is actually really detailed. How did you do this? I would love to make one about my city, too. Either way, very cool, but I do have some comments. First of all, I really love that you have a crosswalk here and a little kiosk. That's quite nice. Something that you could potentially consider improving is the color coordination and texturing of the builds. There does seem to be a lot of materials in each of the builds. Like there's a lot of different colors here, right? You have this teal, you have white, you have dark brown, you have these like red bricks, you have these ones up here, you have like there's a lot going on. That's what I'm trying to say. And also potentially consider adding custom trees as well. Over here, it's quite nice that it is walkable. It does look like quite a bit of fun to explore, but these lights are quite close. And then, well, I don't know. It depends if it's in survival or not and if you're trying to prevent mobs from spawning. Over here, I really do love that there's a lot of shops. This does look quite nice. I love that there's seating down here, maybe for a little cafe or restaurant. This is great as well. You do have these bollards. Is that what they're called? Basically, it prevents cars from going up on the sidewalk. And ooh, little piece of artwork. That's cool. Now back to that first comment that I made. There are a lot of materials going on in this building and this building. So I would highly recommend reducing the number of materials because the colors do seem to conflict quite a bit. First of all, taking a look at this one on the left, you do have this very bright yellow down here. Second of all, you have a sandstone. Third, you have this white stone. You have some, is that end stone or sand? I think it's end stone going up here. You have more bright yellow, which is already conflicting with this softer yellow. And then you have these red bricks up here. There's a lot going on. And then over on this building on the right-hand side, you have some granite. You have this lighter white-ish color. And then this sort of purple, more sandstone, stone, more granite. Down here, you have some mud bricks, and then you have a lot of wood down here. And even like there's a lot of detailing going on here, which it is good to have detail, but sometimes simplicity can be very good. You need to contrast them. And then you have this darker wood down here, and then you have a completely new material down here as well. Yeah, just consider reducing the amount of materials. Next, we have the city of Denby. This is pretty cool to see a city in a regular world. It is quite cool. Look at that. Oh, you have an airport down here too. And I remember I did put some comments about this airport, but it seems like you have a downtown sort of in this center area right here. Seems to be some sort of church over here, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. So let's see what else is going on here. Rule number 1 of designing an airport, don't put your runway directly facing buildings. Now, my second complaint is having houses right here, right off the end of the runway. You are going to get a lot of noise complaints. Although if somebody's stupid enough to buy a house here and then complain about the sound of planes, maybe it's kind of their own fault. But I do like that you have the industrial areas near the airports. This is very smart. The city planners will put industrial areas on the end of the runways and usually around the airport because airports are quite loud. I do have some comments about this here too. I do love the variety that you have going on in this city, and I do love the amount of effort that you're putting into this. But for the actual builds themselves on your facades, I would recommend maybe simplifying it just a little bit because there's a lot going on here. Similar comment to some of the previous builds with your streetlights. Maybe make them a little bit taller and then space them a little bit further apart. And one more comment down here for your stop line, because I do see that you are driving on the left-hand side of the road. If you are turning in this way, I would recommend making your stop line, instead of across here, make it diagonally across here. Now, I do love that you have a park right in the middle. Lots of trees, very nice. It is very, very good to keep lots of green spaces in your city, especially in the higher up areas. This church is very cool. Looks very, very nice. But down here, I do see that when you go up and down with your roads, you are using slabs. I personally, this is my personal preference, I just like to go full blocks. And a similar comment with these lines. There is a lot going on here, and I do see that you are spacing them 1 block apart. I would definitely recommend either going with full blocks instead of your stairs, or you could change it up so that the lines are too long and then you have a gap of 3 in between. I do have a comment about your parking lot here. I'm not quite sure how your vehicles are supposed to fit in here, although maybe your scale is like half scale, potentially, because I do see that your windows are 1 and then 1 and 1, so maybe this is actually a smaller scale city. Either way, this is quite tight right there. Don't forget to add your parapets as well. Parapets are just the things that go up and it prevents the water from going off the side. There's also a lot of roads going on here. Maybe what I would recommend is taking out a few roads and replacing it with buildings instead. So back to the airports. In real life, I am actually an airport planner, so I do have some legitimate comments about this. If you have an aircraft that is landing on runway 36 and then they overrun this exit right here, how do they get back? So what I would recommend, since you have this area still over here, maybe you could push this one little bit out this way, so it just gives them a little bit of extra room so that the aircraft that go past here can turn around and come in here rather than going all the way back, and then you can handle more arrivals and departures. I also have a comment about your runway numbering. This is runway 01. This one is 36. So in reality, this red one is what your runway would this red is what your runway would look like. So the way that we number the runways, it is based on magnetic heading of the runway. Now in this case, you have runway 36, meaning if we add an extra 0 on the end here, it is going to be 360 degrees, also known as 0 degrees, which basically just means north. And if we go to the other end of the runway, it says 01, so it should be 10 degrees facing this way. So these numbers, they have to be the opposite rather than what you have them as right now. So the numbering that I would recommend, if it is a north-south runway, I would recommend having 36 on this side and 18 on this side. So it should look something like this, 18 and 36. Actually, it would be flipped, but you get the picture. So continuing taking a look at your roads, you see what I mean when I talk about the shadows and sort of the dark areas? This is why I personally use full blocks. And especially when you're going up hills like this, now it just looks like stairs. So I would definitely recommend using full blocks instead. I really like that you are keeping the nature over on this side, but on the top here, don't forget your HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, which is basically just the spinning metal things on top of the roof. And don't forget to add some texturing as well. Overall, I really like that you are putting a lot of effort into this. There is a little bit of room for improvement, but overall, I think you're doing a great job. Next, we have this city plan. So I am curious, are these all bridges or tunnels? Is this one a tunnel, maybe? I'm not sure. Now, I can't really comment on it too much, but I am curious if these are going to be divided further into city blocks. And if they are, how is that going to happen? Next, we have a ski resort. I really love the wood detailing. It does feel a little bit like Whistler. Nice detailing down here with these seats. Lots of places to sit down, relax, and enjoy your evening. You can even go skating here, which is great. Now, I do see that this grass is quite bare. Maybe you could consider adding some trees. And then I also see that you have a lot of lanterns hanging off the side of the building. I personally would prefer not to have as many because it's going to create a lot of light pollution. I like the look of this. This is very cool. This is me doing a backflip. Don't mind that. But something here I would maybe recommend, this is very trippy to look at, but I might recommend adding some minor variation so that it's not just straight down like that. This looks really good. You have your ski lift. That's a very cool detail, actually. And then a lodge. Very nice. Some more ski lifts. Yeah, no, that looks really great. Next, we have a cabin. Beauty. Yeah, this looks really good. Hey, Cube Pack, how you doing? Next, we have the city of Etheria. This is a fantastic city. Absolutely phenomenal. I really love that it is a stepped design. So you have sort of this urban wall down here. So when you're at the park, it's not super overwhelming. But as you go back into downtown, the buildings grow upwards, which is very cool. I love that there's a baseball stadium over here too. But one question I did have, if you take a look at this bridge, it is a parabola going up like this, which does seem quite realistic. But on the other side, on the right here, it seems almost linear except for this section up here. So I'm curious if there's a reason for that, because usually you see it curves up and then it'll also curve down as well. I really love the spacing of your streetlights. Thank you. Somebody finally listened. And very nice path going along here. Lots to do down here too. Nice fountain, some parks going on. Yeah, very nice. And then we have the baseball stadium. Very cool. I'm curious if you could put something maybe on the outside of here, maybe some hot dog stands. Lots of cool looking towers. That looks very cool. And then there you go. There's a view of the skyline from the baseball stadium. Some more skyscrapers and some more buildings going on here. Yeah, this is very nice. Next up, we have a tower called 5050. This is very cool. Very nice. Nice design. Lots of cool cantilevers going on. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them. I'm curious if you have any underground parking because I do see you have a lot of roads, but I don't see an entrance on how to get down there. Next, we have the Auckland Sky Tower. Very nice. This is very cool. I think they mentioned this was a part of Build the Earth, but yeah, the detailing on this is incredible. Next, we have a house. I really love the proportions on this. This is in Cube Pack, by the way.
Very nice detail with the stair under there. Now, I am curious if you would consider changing the material of this bottom row right here. Typically, you don't see bricks for overhangs. Next, we have a skyscraper. The skyscraper does look very good, but I am a little bit concerned about this crane. This part is very thick and this part is very thin. But for the skyscraper itself, it is very well proportioned. I do love that down here it does jut out a little bit, makes for a very nice entrance. I also love that there is weather protection for this entrance down here. Very nice, especially as somebody that lives in Vancouver and it rains a lot. And yeah, this skyscraper is detailed, but not too detailed. Very nice work. Next, we have a skyscraper by Unknown Construction Co. Great form, very cool. I'm curious if you'd be able to texture the top, maybe add some HVAC, although I do see you have HVAC on top of the actual towers themselves. And I'm curious about the decor around the actual base of the building, because it does seem quite empty. Very nice up top, and I really love this logo here. And you even have all of these drawings, which is very, very nice. This one is the street level, skyway level, that's cool. 3rd floor, 4th floor, utility floor, and 5th floor. Fifth roof floors. Even have some drawings over here. Next, we have a Tokyo-inspired city. Wow, exactly. Text. That's what I was thinking. Very, very detailed. I'm curious if there's any cars around here, but yeah, I mean, all of the rail lines here, the buildings with the diagonals. Yeah, this looks very, very good. Look at that. Look at all of this rail. This is what I want in Sequoia. This is very, very cool. Something I really love about these big complex cities is that there's different layers. So you have this upper section with the rail, and then below, it's not just, it's not just flat. Like you can go underneath things and around things and above things. It's not just flat. Here's another view. I don't know if this is a work in progress or not, but maybe consider adding some texturing down here. And then, I think this is an actual train station in Tokyo, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is really cool. Nice buildings. Cool looking skyscrapers. Very realistic. Yeah, this is some great work. Next, we have Sadie Springs. This is quite nice. It does really capture that small town feel. Now down here, maybe add some stop lines here, because I don't see any. But down here along this main street, I do see that you have some cars, which is very cool. And yeah, the proportions of this town and all of these buildings, this is very well done. Here's a view from street level. I do see it is quite small, so I guess it's probably at a 1-to-1 scale. But this looks really good. You do have your cornice, you have very cool rooftop details, and your streetlights. Very nice. Oh, and you have a daylight sensor on top here too. Cool. And of course, you have all of these graphics. Look at that. Oh, it's also by Unknown. Very cool. And look at this. That's cool. 2050 estimate, and then yeah, 1890. Look at that. That's very cool. Kind of reminds me of Red Dead 2. And the last build, we have a build by Takeout NL. Oh no, there's a giant hole there. That's not good, but it looks like they're repairing it, so I guess that's better than just keeping it. So I really do like this design, but maybe you can make it a little bit taller, because my reasoning being, if you're driving this dump truck here and you have a light at eye level, it's going to get pretty bright, versus if you have it a little bit higher, it's going to help just cover the street instead. I really love that you have these benches and these garbage cans. That's a very, very nice detail. And these buildings look great here too. But I am curious how you do actually access the roof. Now this building, which I'm assuming is probably going to be down the street, I really do love these roads. These are some good looking curves, and you also made the effort to put in diagonal roads, which I also appreciate. I also like that you have these photovoltaic panels, which I believe are facing the correct way, so good job on that. But you do have this window cleaning device, and I am a little bit concerned about the reach. So maybe it extends, hopefully, but I'd probably have to use my imagination. But overall, yeah, this looks really good. And now it is time for a new segment called Bike Review. I asked you to send me pictures of your bikes. I don't think this is an actual bike. Nice try. This looks like a drawing. This is also not a bike. Nice try. You guys are really bad at figuring out what a bike is. Nice try again. I can tell that this is a drawing. This is an actual bike, but you know what? Close enough. Nice looking bike. Oh, finally, somebody actually understands what a bike is. There you go. Good looking bike. 10 out of 10. This is not a bike, but I do have a license to fly one of these. There we go. That's better. Nice looking bike. And yeah, that's a cool building in the background too. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. This, yeah, I mean, that's a bike. You know what? Close enough. It looks more like a bike than some of the other submissions. Okay, so something tells me they don't like their bike. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'll let you guys read it. Oh yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good looking bike. Oh, you even sent in a video? Nice. Where is this? This looks like New York, maybe? No, it definitely looks like New York. Yeah, this has got to be New York. Oh, Lee, don't get hit. Oh, that's not good. I don't know if I'm brave enough. Yeah, look, there's a bike lane. What are you doing? You got a whole bike lane. What are you doing on the streets, man? That is it for Build Review Episode 10. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Matt. I don't know how to end a video. Goodbye.